Can you say something in French like,
Je veux une baguette.
Je veux une baguette? Hey villagers! I'm hanging out in Budapest, home of the beautiful buildings and bridges and seriously tasty food. And I'm here, I've noticed that more and more kids today are speaking multiple languages, more than they ever have for sure. So I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about helping children become bilingual. So first I'll tell you why you should try and teach those children in your village another language, and then I'll tell you how to do it. I'm Jade and this is my village. There are so many benefits to being bilingual. The child could be a citizen of the world. That's something my husband says all the time, but they'll be more open-minded, more understanding, and being bilingual improves their memory, creativity, multitasking skills. We could all use some help with that for sure. And they'll be better readers, better communicators, have a wider pool of friends to choose from. They'll have a higher self-esteem plus higher test scores, better focus, increased focus, and more job opportunities later. Who doesn't want all of those things, right? Now you want to be bilingual too. And it's windy out here though. Let's go inside. Why you might be hesitant in making your children bilingual. I thought they'd be confused or would talk late, but not necessarily. Both of my children actually started talking very early. They speak very well. Confession, they never stop though. Never stop talking, never. The baby already uses 4-word sentences and pronouns.
Est-ce que tu as un camion et aussi une autre maison?
Children understand that people speak differently with only one language. They know if someone is being rude or if they have an accent. Makes sense that they think another language is just another way of talking. They mix up languages, that's another myth. They might use a word from each language in one sentence, but so do grown-ups. I'm sure that's how Spanglish and Franglais got started. And another myth, they should learn English before trying to teach them another language. But if you wait, they might not see the importance of trying to learn it since they can already communicate just fine in that original language. Or, my child is too old. They're supposed to learn it as babies. Yes, the earlier the better. However, humans, they can become fluent at any age. Now, how do we make them bilingual? Well, always start any new endeavor with a goal in mind. What kind of command of the language do you want the child to have and why? I want them to speak French as well as the native so they have the opportunity to go to school in France if they choose to, hopefully for college because it's free. But maybe you just want them to know some basics, make learning easier in the future. The child also needs a goal or a reason to want to learn this language. Maybe they see how much you like it, and so they want to see what all the hype is about. Or maybe there's a certain family member that they'd like to be able to talk to. Well, my family says that these two brothers have their own secret language so they can plot behind their grandparents' backs. Won't speak French and no one else understands. That will likely be true though. But next, you want to choose a method. For villagers that didn't grow up with that second language though, maybe like you took Spanish in high school, you're pretty okay at it, roll with that. We all like a challenge, right? You can improve your language skills as you teach those little cuties. But aside from that, method number 1, each parent speaks a different language. If you can dedicate that kind of focus, then this is likely the best method. It gives the child exposure to 2 languages and might result in less vocabulary mixing.
Pour traverser la Seine, il y a 37 ponts. 37 ponts. Comment s'appelle la grande église sur l'île?
This is a scenario where the husband speaks French while I'll speak English. Easy. That's the one that we use, of course. Method number 2. Both parents speak a language different than the one that's spoken at school. This is obviously difficult if both parents don't speak that second language. In this example, it would mean that This is a French-only household, and the Munchkins are exposed to English elsewhere. We only do this with French-speaking people or when we're in France in order to support their French language skills. Method number 3. I like this method because it adds an element of predictable fun. You choose certain days or times of day to speak that different language every weekend or every morning, every spring, etc. Although, if the child is very young, this can be confusing for them since they won't have a person or a place to associate that second language with. Method number 4. Speak languages whenever you feel like it's the appropriate time. Yeah, why not? English for homework, French at dinner time. It's difficult to get great results from this strategy in those beginning years though. So think about that. It's likely that you may end up using more than one method, but use often the one that helps you and the child reach that predetermined goal. Just find what works. Then you can choose how to give them the amount of exposure to that language that you need to. And by using books, games, traveling, of course, visiting places, singing songs in the other language, spend as much quality time as you can with those little angels and talking to them before they learn to talk. That's really the best way. No matter how old they are, just start exposing them to that language. Do it today, like right now. It takes a lot of hours, honestly, every month to make them really fluent. So you really want to spend that time. You can correct them also, but not at the expense of messing up the flow of the conversation. Keep it fun because they won't want to learn if they feel stressed out, so don't stress them out. Conversation is the biggest teacher for bilingual children. Find some other people that speak that language and add them to the child's village. TV alone will not teach them to speak a language, just throwing that out there. Read to them until they become moody teenagers that complain about you reading to them. They will most likely want to keep speaking that majority language, English in our case, most of the time. But never give up. At least you're boosting their comprehension skills, even if they aren't yet developing their speaking skills. And side note, if they need the language in order to communicate, they will learn it. You can speed up that pace though by adopting some of these strategies and putting in the hours. My oldest prefers to reply to his papa and his grandparents in English instead of French because he knows first that his papa understands it. He gets really creative though when he's talking to his French family. He figures out how to communicate in French pretty fast when he wants something. He'll ask Alexa, how do you say a word? Or he'll just start pronouncing English words with the French accent. The baby though is still in his mimicking phase, so he's quite good at speaking French. He doesn't have this idea of, oh, I'm not good enough, holding him back. So anyway, keep these end goals in mind. Don't quit. Be consistent. Start speaking to them in another language today, right now. It's never too late to introduce that new language again. Now, I have a lot to say about raising bilingual children, but let me know in the comments if you have questions or struggles. Now, hit that subscribe button, please, and watch my next video.